Hey guys, welcome back to another Epic 7 video. Today we'll be making a tier list on the custom banner that's coming in tomorrow. Please like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. And shout out to Siasu for giving me this idea. And also this tier list is more opinionated towards Guild Wars since that's where, I play mostly. So yeah, let's get started. First we have Afternoon Soak Flan. I put her at the top of S tier because for new players, I think she really trivializes a lot of arena fights, guild war attacks, and even RTA. Right? Any character you use S1 with, assuming that Flan has focus, brings her for a dual attack, and that does insane damage. And she has just basically permanent evasion, which makes a lot of fights in arena and guild war, especially, really easy to take on. In RTA, she's not picked as much anymore, but I think for a new player, she's definitely one of the most solid picks, one of the best limited characters you can get. Next on the tier list is Young Senya. So Young Senya is primarily a Harseti counter. Since Aram is not available in this banner, Young Senya is probably the only Harseti counter in this list, so she deserves S tier, especially for new players since fighting Harseti probably really impossible as a new player without these characters, so that's why Young Senya is up here. She works off Fighting Spirit, so when Harseti AoE hits your team, it automatically procs Young Senya, she full cleanses your team, pushes them up, and you get to counter Harseti basically. So yeah, she's just a really solid character for Arena Guild War against Harseti. She's not picked that often in RTA, but yeah, it's more of a niche pick in RTA. I don't really see people pick it often, but definitely for new player, I think you'll probably struggle against Harseti without her or Aram. So yeah, definitely a good pick. Now for the last character in S tier, we have Rinak. She's used primarily in RTA and Guild War. I don't really use her often in Arena, although she's probably okay in Arena as well, but especially in Guild War and RTA is where she shines. She's tied for the fastest space speed with Ran, and yeah, this character is just not balanced. She can pilfer a unit which reduces their stats by 20% and increases her own stats by 20, up to 4 times for each unique enemy. So yeah, that's already a bunch of free stats. Not to mention she does insane damage, and she does a fixed AoE damage of 7k, or to everybody on the team when she has 3s, or 8.4k if you have Pursuit set on her. Definitely one of the stronger characters, and yeah, that rounds off my S tier. Next up, we have A tier. So normally you would probably see like a mid and like S tier, but since this is more geared towards newer players, I don't think newer players have like the gear, speed, and variety of units to play aggro or cleave in RTA or Guild War. So that's why I would put maybe a mid and S tier normally, but should be down in A tier for this tier list. But yeah, first we have Festive Eda. She is just a insanely solid pick against any character that does like AoE or has like a strip or anything, right? So as long as you take her out of stuff, she activates her shyness, which does insane fixed damage to the enemy team. So primarily in Guild War, I would say she's used, and sometimes in RTA against like Witch and such. Yeah, she's good because she also can ignore ER strip. So we use her in some comps against Lady of the Scales, Witch of the Mirror Tenebria, stuff like that, and she just one-shots squishies. So she's also really good against basically characters that are also weak to Yenya. So not Harseti. I mean, she can work against Harseti too, but mainly like she'll one-shot like Freerin, Sphere Iceland, same things that Young Saiyan would one-shot. Next up, we have Amid and Frida. I'll just group these two together for now, since they're both like aggro / cleave characters. I mean, they're both really easy to build as long as you have speed, right? So you just put your top speed on them and you just press your buttons, and then your team goes boom, and you kill everything. Normally, I would put Amid in S tier, as I said earlier, but since this is more geared towards new players, these are not really, I would say, priorities, since you need other characters to make them work. Lastly, we have Lethe in A tier. I know this is probably surprising for a lot of people, but with the introduction of School Nurse Yulha doubling a character's speed and HP, Lethe is actually pretty solid in Guild Wars. She's able to Extinct, which eliminates a lot of issues like Genesis Frost revives any knight, or like Ruel Maid Chloe meta. So she's probably never really picked an RTA, I'm not gonna lie, but in some Guild War fights, she's pretty solid. One other thing that brings her up to A tier is the artifact, right? So you get Prayer of Solitude, which is a really pretty strong artifact. So, yeah. Next, I'll talk about characters that mainly their artifacts are really good. So we'll start with Laia. So Laia used to be like one of the best DPS cleansers tanks in the game, but then Ilanav came out and ruined her day. Even with the Warfare set and her new EE, she's not really that good, I would say. But her artifact Sweet Miracle is insane value. Like, honestly, like I would put her up here, but since she's not really used herself, I just put her in the best in slot RD section. So Sweet Miracle at max, just basically at the start of each turn, if you have any debuffs on you, it cleanses one turn of the debuff. There's like a 2-turn cooldown of it, but it's really good for any warrior that doesn't have a cleanse herself or himself. So yeah. Next up we have Diene. Diene herself is not too bad. She's not really used that often in any of the game modes, but she's not a bad character. But her artifact is pretty good. Unfitting Memories is like the best in slot Soul Weaver artifact for like Maid Chloe and probably Lady of the Scales in most Guild War attacks, I would say. So it's always worth picking that up just to get the extra healing on each turn, and it also gives you Team ER, so it's pretty nice. Next we have Fairytale Tenebria. This character is basically an RTA only unit. Even then she's not picked that much, but her artifact, Fairytale for a Nightmare, is pretty much best in slot for units like Arya and Solitaria, Harsetti. So it's a solid artifact, although I wouldn't really pick anything. Well, I wouldn't pick either of these three over anything up here if you don't have those. And Laia. Well, Sweet Miracle mainly, but yeah. Next we have Cerise. She's just a PvE unit, but her artifact Guiding Light is still one of the best ranger artifacts in the game, as it can provide stealth to you at the start of battle and a chance of stealth at the end of each turn. It's not really that used anymore. Like back then, like 2-3 years ago, everybody was like, oh, we need to get 5, 6, or like 7 Guiding Lights. But nowadays, I mean, I barely use this artifact, but maybe like 3 is a good enough number. And lastly, in the best in slot RDs tier, we have Ocean Breeze Luluca. This unit is also not used anywhere, to be honest, but her artifact Soul Constellation is not bad for RTA, I would say. And some Soul Weavers that you want to make sure they cut when an enemy uses a non-attack skill, then yeah, that would be your best slot RD. And yeah, I'm not really going to speak much about the B and C tier. These are mostly RTA characters or just niche characters that you would only pick them if you literally have everything else up here. But yeah, quickly, this is Blue Luluca is just a cleave character. Landy is a decent DPS in RTA. Lilius just got buffed, so she ignores like damage share now, but Ilanav still like ruins her. Tori is just like unstrippable buff carry, but the main issue with her is RNG with Cascade buff, so it's not really too reliable to pick. And SSB is just SSB. She's okay, but yeah. And then C tier is just, I mean, this is just a cleave character. Holiday Euphine is basically just a PvE character. She's used in Trial Constellations and as a counter to MLTU. That's about it. Bilbis, she's the counter to counter units, but those are kind of gone. Maybe she'll see a comeback with the MLI Syria coming, but I kind of doubt it. Luna, and this character's outdated, she doesn't really do anything. And then obviously Hekate, Aram, Hua, and Sigurd, these aren't pickable, so I won't really speak on them.